Good afternoon. It's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world, and it's just all quiet on a lot of fronts due to the government shutdown from the government's perspective. But we got some IRS updates for you out there coming your way, and all of that. But look, we'll look at the market watch. We'll look at stocks we're paying attention to, and the local and national stories that you need to know. And look, the summer vacation season's over. Yeah, well, Disney's doing something to prepare you for any, if you're planning on going during the holidays coming up or even next summer, you got to budget a little bit differently. We got that story coming up for you as well. And let's get into it all with the Market Watch. And sell off day here around the markets. It's just the longer this government closure continues, we're going to see more days like this, no doubt about it. A lot of question marks, a lot of uncertainty around the markets, as you know, here, and everything's retreating. The S&P 500, NASDAQ down from record highs for them. As you see, Dow Jones right now down 294 points, 46,330 for it. The S&P 500's down 32 points to 6723, and then the NASDAQ down 108 points. 22,935 for the NASDAQ as well. The Russell 2K, the small cap index, down 25 points here today, 2463 for it. Everything is down, including Bitcoin, right? It's down from that 125,000 level. It's been at the last couple of days, down to 120,839 right now for Bitcoin here on this marketplace. And basically, it just comes down to uncertainty on the government shutdown. There is no end to sight on this thing. The Senate has voted now 8 times to end it, and they just keep getting the same votes that they've had all along so far, in terms of reopening up the government. Excuse me, 7th time they voted on earlier today to end the shutdown, and it's just not moving. There's no hope to the end of this, so it's going to continue. As we're in, of course, it's 9th day, right? 8th, what's today? Thursday, 8th day here coming up. Here, since the shutdown last Wednesday. And it's just going to be this way for a little bit. And then stocks, though, not all stocks are down today. Some of them out there, right? MP Materials is the first one that we're going to look at here in stocks we're paying attention to. It's up 2.83% right now. It was up over 7% earlier today, as you see on that graph on the screen. BMO Capital Markets reinstated coverage on MP Materials. They called the MP Materials company the U.S. Rare Earth Champion, is what they called it. That's basically following, the Department of Defense buying equity into this company and purchasing that 10% equity as well. So MP Materials being reopened up there. And also the other big news in terms of these rare earth materials, China said it is tightening rare earth export controls ahead of a potential meeting between President Trump and the Chinese president, Xi Jinping. That's scheduled to be started here coming up as they're working out these trade deals. Obviously, if China is going to tighten their rare earth export controls, means we have to rely more on our rare earth here at that MP Materials mine that's being built out there. Other companies kind of in the same boat with government buying into them, the U.S. Trump administration buying into those companies. Next stock we're going to look at, Marley as well. Say that 10 times fast. 5.50% up right now for it. It is up, and it's also same issue here. China's looking to require export licenses for some types of its lithium-ion batteries. So they were up over 7% earlier, up to 5.47% right now. And then you got Lithium Americas, which the Trump administration just bought into as well. They're doing that mine up in Nevada for rare earth stuff. 1.02% up for Lithium America today as well. Is obviously they're going to need to mine more. Prices are going to go up on it if China's tightening those controls. So 3 rare earth mining companies all up here on the market here today, even though the market as a whole is down as of right now. When we come back later and look at stocks, we'll look at Delta Airlines. PepsiCo is back in the news as well. And then Oracle, which Oracle's been in the news a lot lately with this TikTok situation. It is one of the companies that's going to control it. if that deal goes through. And they're in there as well because of their AI centers and their growth numbers for Oracle. So we'll look at Oracle coming up as well here in just a little bit. But in terms of government news, look, the shutdown, again, seventh vote to keep reopen the government, shot down in the Senate again here earlier today. Just no hope, right? Now we find out with all the threats of government furloughs going on, we know some people have been sent home in terms of government work. Well, now we know officially the IRS is going to furlough about half of its workforce. And they're doing that as of yesterday. It's all part of the government shutdown that's occurring. This is according to an updated contingency plan posted to the IRS website. Most IRS operations are closed right now. The agency had sent the notice to their workers that everything's closed before. The agency's initial lapsed appropriations consistency plan, gotta love these government names for stuff, it provided for the first 5 business days of operations with the shutdown. It stated that the department would remain open using Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act funds for those first 5 days. Well, now that we're past those 5 days, only 39,870 employees, which is about 53.6% of their workforce, will remain working as the shutdown continues. It's unclear which workers will remain on the job and which ones will be furloughed. Waiting for that to come out. The notice of workers states that furloughed workers and those who remain on the job will receive back pay once the shutdown ends. It's interesting that the IRS said that because the Republican administration here, the Trump administration, came out on Tuesday and they warned if no guaranteed back pay is going to be there if for federal workers affected by a government shutdown. So it's interesting the IRS put it in that they will receive the back pay. When the government, the Trump administration saying, no guarantee on that, folks, earlier this week. Last week, Trump said roughly 750,000 federal workers nationwide were expected to be furloughed across agencies. A lot potentially fired as well, and the position's not available when they come back here coming up. So we know the IRS right now is 53.6% of its workforce is going to continue on. Everybody else being sent home and furloughed with this government shutdown. So we're starting to see some of those job threats coming into effect here as well. And there's other IRS news out there as well because the IRS is adjusting the income limits for the federal income tax brackets. They're doing all this because they're accounting for the impact of the inflation as well. So it's an annual reset. It could provide relief here for some Americans when they file their taxes for next April. The IRS makes these adjustments usually in October, beginning of November timeframe, and they do it to basically avoid what they call, and what's in the accounting circles, it's called bracket creep is what they call it. It's when inflation pushes people into higher tax brackets unknowingly. So, if you're making, let's say you're making, I don't have the numbers. Well, the numbers are on the screen here, right? If you're making $95,500, and you're in the 24, you're in the 12 percentile, tax rate right now, and then inflation pushes you up into the $98,000 income range, where you're pushed up into the 22 percentile at that point. So these adjustments are there to keep people from getting creeped up or based just solely off of inflation as well. So, which means higher taxes against you if that does happen. One of the positives here of this, well, Americans will have to earn more income next year before reaching a higher tax bracket. As you see on your screen, we got the graph up there for you. So the upper tax limit on a single filer making $50,000, well, it'll be 12% in 2026. This year in 2025, well, it was 22%. So 10% tax savings here for 2026 coming up. In addition to setting the federal income tax brackets, the IRS also released changes to the 2026 standard deductions numbers as well. They did all that this morning. So married couples filing jointly, they'll have a standard deduction of $32,200 going into next year. Filing heads of households, well, they'll have a standard deduction of $24,150. Single taxpayers and married individuals will face a standard deduction of $16,100. Seniors, so they can see additional relief because of the provision in the one big beautiful bill, right? The tax bill. Well, that one provision provides a temporary tax reduction deduction of about $6,000 for people aged 65 and older. The tax breaks, which set to expire at the end of 2028, well, it's available to those with an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less. That's for single filers. $150,000 or less for married or couples filing jointly. There, so some layoffs happening, furloughing happening around the IRS, and we got the tax brackets coming up for 2026 as well. So a lot of that financial news happening as we're navigating this government shutdown. And we also found out here about Tesla, right? We know they came out with those new lower tiers, standard levels of Model Y, Model 3 units yesterday. And today we wake up to find out federal auto safety regulators, another open case here, another investigation into Tesla's so-called full self-driving technology is what Tesla calls it. Dozens of incidents in which its vehicles ran red lights, even drove on the wrong side of the road as well, while just driving by themselves. This is the software that's going to drive the robo-taxis as well, folks. So not only that, they sometimes crashed into other vehicles. Even people are getting injured in these accidents. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said in a filing dated Tuesday that it has 58 incident reports of Tesla vehicles violating traffic safety laws while being operated in that full self-driving mode. In reports to regulators, many of the Tesla drivers said the cars gave them no warning about the unexpected behavior. In August, a Miami jury found that Tesla was partly responsible for that deadly 2019 crash over there in Florida. It involved an autopilot driver assist technology. That is different from the full self-driving capabilities there, but the jury did say Tesla must pay the victims more than $240 million in damages. Tesla said it would appeal that decision. Not a shocker. They usually do. But all these new probes, it covers 2,882,566 vehicles. Basically, it's all Teslas equipped with full self-driving technology. It's FSD for those of you that have heard that term as well. That's what they call it also. So there are two types. Level 2, which is a driver assistance software. You have to have your hands on the wheel in that one. And then you got the full self-driving, which they also have to be supervised there. It's not, you can't do that one without anybody in the car yet. It requires drivers to pay full attention to the road under that one. So those are the two types they're talking about. The company is still testing a version that does not require driver intervention, something that the automaker's owner, Tesla, right, owner and CEO, Elon Musk, he's been promising to roll out for years and kind of behind the level there. You know, Waymo has those level 4 technology where it needs no driver, no interaction here between drivers. So you got to get to that level 4 status there if you want to have the autonomous vehicles, robo-taxis, etc., like they're trying to get out there. But Tesla, more government interaction here coming up, or government looking into here an investigation on those driving cars here coming up. And then, hey, it's almost lunchtime here and everything. When's the last time you went to a Long John Silver's? It's been a long time for me. I used to go to the one by Metro Center when I worked up there way back in the day when I was in the corporate world. But Long John Silver's, well, they're adding something new to its menu, folks. But not just its menu. They've had it for a while. But more importantly, they're adding it to their logo. Yes, chicken. Yes, Long John Silver's Seafood is adding chicken to its logo. They unveiled its own redesigned logo on October 3rd. So they are still based out of Lexington, Kentucky. But they're a seafood chain out there. It's known for its fried fish platter. Well, it's putting chicken front and center, according to them. It's replacing this signature fish illustration for a stylized chicken to spotlight non-fish menu items, including fried chicken. This is an ingenious move because a lot of people like seafood, but a lot of people that eat with people that like seafood don't like it. So highlight the chicken side as well. You open up your side. Now, Long John Silver's put out a statement, and they said, guests have been telling us for years that our chicken is the best-kept secret. They said our hand-battered chicken strips, which are known as chicken planks, are every bit as crave-worthy as their legendary fish. It's time we let that secret out, is what Long John Silver's statement said. They are still testing potential menu offerings on the chicken variety. It's currently highlighting its $6 chicken basket. It comes with four options: chicken planks, hand battered fish, battered dipped shrimp, or even grilled shrimp in that $6 basket. So they're adding the chicken. That's out now. I saw they're playing with some, buffalo chicken style stuff and flavors to it and things to that effect. But Long John Silver's making changes here, and hopefully this goes better than the Cracker Barrel one, and hopefully it goes as well as hopefully the Domino's one does that we talked about yesterday as well out there. So Long John Silver's making some notable changes here to their logo. At least they've had chicken on their menu for a while. It's just you didn't know about it, so you never went there for that, right? So when we come back here at McCollum on Business, we keep this show rolling. We'll look at stocks we're paying attention to. We'll see if that sell-off is still happening today, as the investors are just not happy with this government shutdown continuing. We'll talk a little bit about Intel as a local story. Disneyland, folks, going to have to plan on spending a little bit more to get in there. We'll tell you that story coming up as well. So come on back. It's McCollum on Business. Just saw right there here at McCollum on Business, the Real Matrix out there. The first 3 episodes are up here at Robat TV. Check those out as well. The Angry Patriot, he has a guest there for a couple of those shows with Dell Hellestrate joining him on a couple of those. It's going to be coming out starting next Wednesday, a week from yesterday. New episodes every week after that, starting next Wednesday. Robat TV, they're up. There is a podcast out there as well version. It's getting waiting for the links right now to all the podcast sites. It's at Podbean right now for those of you that want to listen to The Real Matrix. Go to Podbean, type in at The Real Matrix. It'll come right up for you there as well. And then, of course, it's going to come to YouTube as well. That will be up later today as well. We had to work through some upload issues and get our submissions in for some copyright stuff. All done and ready to go, so it's making its debut on YouTube later on today as well. For those of you that want to watch it free there as well, of course, you got the main event. Uncle Lou comes in on Thursdays, was here earlier today. Of course, you can watch that now at Robat TV On Demand if you missed it live from 8 to 10 a.m. or free YouTube channel being uploaded. It's up there available for you. Then, of course, all the free podcast systems you use, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, etc., all up there for you. Just search the main event with Steven, and it'll pop right up for you there as well. Of course, follow us at social medias there at the TME Sports Show. That will be there as well for you. And then, of course, this show live at 11 o'clock. As well, as soon as we're done here, we get it up on demand at Robat TV, on demand on the free YouTube as well. You can find this show for your business taste out there. And, of course, the Pit Stop. We did the Look Back show earlier this week. It's up at Robat TV. It's up at YouTube right now as well. It's on the free podcast system. Well, on Podbean right now. That is now, we're waiting for the links back officially for the other systems out there. But right now, up at Podbean, at the Pit Stop Talk is where you find that. At the Pit Stop Talk, also on X. For those of you that want the social media component, give us a follow there as well. And the Look Ahead show, which looks ahead to Las Vegas Speedway this weekend. Coming up later today, it'll be on demand at Robat TV, YouTube as well. That free podcast system also coming up. Busy around here. We're growing. We can't do this without you. We can't thank you enough. And with that, let's get back into that Market Watch. As I told you earlier, S&P 500, NASDAQ, both coming back from record highs. But everything's in the red today as there's just the unknown here of the longer the government shutdown happens, the more we're going to see the red out there. And then when it's announced to be end, you'll see a positive gain here on the NASDAQ. Doesn't mean every day will be negative for every index. Just we're going to see more of red than green, I think, here while the shutdown continues on. Dow Jones right now down to 297 points. S&P 500 down to 33. NASDAQ's down 106. The small cap index there, the Russell 2K, 24 points down for it. Then you got the Bitcoin, right? It was 123, 124 yesterday, 125 earlier this week, 120,747 for Bitcoin as of right now. And stocks we're paying attention to here in this part of the show, Delta Airlines, we're going to look at here. They're up 5.01% right now. They issued strong guidance and posted third quarter results that beat the expectations that was expected of them. The airline earned an adjusted $1.71 per share on revenue of $15.2 billion. The revenue expectation was $15.06 billion, and they had only expecting a profit of $1.53 per share. So Delta with their $1.71, big increase there for Delta as well. And some of their rivals did increase, like United's a direct rival there of Delta, also up today. Last time I looked at it, based off of this announcement from Delta, and United's expect to have similar results, I'd imagine, here with this Delta reporting. Next up, we're going to look at PepsiCo out there. They Frito-Lay, Pepsi products, obviously. Well, they're up today as well, 3.31% right now. They reported their third quarter results. They also beat expectation levels for them. They earned an adjusted $2.29 per share. They were expecting $2.26 per share for them. The revenue was $23.94 billion, while the expectation was $23.83 billion. So didn't beat it by a bunch, but PepsiCo there beating their numbers. They're up 3.31% here today. And then finally, Oracle's the stock we're going to look at for our final one today, 3.25% up. We saw a big uphill on Oracle before the TikTok deal when they announced a 1,500% anticipated growth there in terms of their AI data center businesses, et cetera, with what they do with that. Then we saw a big pullback because some people said that was an unexpected level to get to. Well, today Oracle's up 3.23% because Baird, that investment company, they initiated coverage with Oracle. They put it out there as an outperform rating, and they also put a $365 price target for them. So obviously, Baird is high on Oracle because right now it's trading at 298. They say it's going to get up there to 365 as their price target. Baird said that Oracle has a strong position in the artificial intelligence growth story. The stock has had a wild ride this year, like I said, especially lately with some sessions out there with the TikTok situation, the expectation levels, etc. But investors are unsure. Some are like Baird are very positive on Oracle. Some aren't as positive on them, saying it can't be happening. It won't happen. But if you just look at the macro here, like this week, for instance, on Oracle, it's been a rocky week for them, but their shares overall have gained 4% on the week here. And that was, that's at the 3% growth today, and they're at 3.26% here. So Oracle having a solid week here, despite all the unknowns built around them. And Oracle's just one of those stocks right now. A lot of talk around them. We'll have to see how they go as we move on. And another stock, or another company, I should say, as we move into our stories, with a lot of heat on it right now, if you want to say that, and probably positive heat after a lot of negativity, Intel Corporation out there as well. They actually came out this morning, Intel did. They unveiled details about its sophisticated Panther Lake processors, is what they called. And also how Arizona has a critical role in manufacturing these next generation personal computer chip technology that Intel's trying to do. Intel plans to enter high volume production for that Panther Lake chips. This is the chips that, they run computers, phones, etc., all those electronic devices. Well, they're going to manufacture them in its Ocotillo plant, which is the one down there in Chandler, later this year. Panther Lake is the company's first product built on Intel 18A. That is the new fab that they just opened up. It's the company is claiming the most advanced semiconductor process ever developed and manufactured in the United States. In addition to revealing all these details about the Panther Lake chip, Intel did confirm that it's launching Clearwater Forest. That's its first 18A based service processors. They're going to do that in the first half of 2026, they announced today as well. And don't forget, the 18A fab is the newest one that they just got done constructing down there. So Intel is ramping production on both Panther Lake and Clearwater Forest, those two, and its fabs. They're going to in Oregon and here in Arizona. The company's Chandler campus, well, they will play a greater role in development and manufacturing of those two processors in the coming year. And they're using the Oregon facility as well as just kind of a testing as the one down here was getting ready to rile up and things. But mainly, it's all going to be done down there in Chandler. Now, Panther Lake is an important product launch for Intel. A lot of eyeballs on it, not just in the investment world, but in the business world, because Intel's trying to capture a greater piece of PC and mobile marketing segments that they faltered at these last several years. Panther Lake is going to offer 50% greater performance than Intel's previous generation processors. Of course, we get that information from Intel on how they're going to perform, and Intel can't continue to miss on this stuff. They need to get into this market, and maybe these will be the chips that get them there as we move forward. And I don't suffer from this, but I know a lot of people do. And of course, we're talking about motion sickness, but most importantly, motion sickness in vehicles. Right? It is more. It is a true thing. It is more common for passengers than it is for drivers. Nearly 1 in 3 adults and 1 in 2 children are said to suffer from motion sickness, when they're riding in a car. So it's an issue. It's expected to be even more and more pronounced. More people getting it because of the future and the way technology is changing the way that we drive or travel around as well. Mainly because of like autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles make us all passengers in vehicles and everything, so if you a lot of people are complaining about motion sickness if you ride, with Uber or Lyft. Of course, Waymos actually have a lot of complaints about it if you look into it as well. So research out there on motion sickness, it's shown people riding in electric vehicles, well, they're also more prone to motion sickness than in a gasoline part. So electric vehicles get you more motion sick as well than your traditional gasoline cars. It's fascinating what they're finding out about this. So there are researchers up there at the University of Michigan, and they're developing some new tools designed to solve the problem of motion sickness. The reason why passengers get motion sickness more than drivers, passengers don't know what's about to happen. And what I mean by that is drivers anticipate turns, drivers anticipate braking, speeding up, etc., and passengers just have no idea it's coming, right? Especially in autonomous vehicles. In electric vehicles, by the way, it's the regenerative braking that can cause it. If you let go of your gas pedal, if you'll call it, allow me to call that, then you brake, and you can do it very forcefully. Where you get jerked forward, and then even then, it's got strong acceleration levels, and that's why EVs get it a little bit more or more than gas powered cars out there. So there's a startup there at University of Michigan. It's called Motion Sync, and they're hoping to bring this technology to help motion sickness to market. Work on the technology has been underway for about 5 years, and it does have research using more than 150 human subjects. And this is all done up there at M-City is what they call it. It's Michigan's proving grounds for testing self-driving cars up there. So the results of the research show a statistically significant reduction in the subject's feeling of motion sickness. 80% saying it's a technology they would want included with their next vehicle purchase, according to this testing and the results they're coming out with. Don't worry, I'm going to get into what they're using here to to kind of get around that motion sickness. The technology is being developed there by that startup company, Motion Sync. It's called Preact, Preact, if you want to look into that. And it's expected to be offered in two options. It uses both hardware and software to address the motion sickness issue. One option, which they do actually expect to bring to market here within a year, it would be sold online as an aftermarket product for the first one. It's a low profile seat cushion. It'll be equipped with where it's going to send basically cues to a passenger. It's going to vibrate, etc. So it's going to vibrate similar to what's produced by a cell phone. It's going to signal an upcoming turn or stop as the car's doing it. So basically, it's going to vibrate. And my new car that I've had for a few months now vibrates on everything. Braking, car pulls up next to you and signals you what's happening around you. So it sounds like it's kind of like that effect as well. So, but it's going to take out the unknown of what's coming up, right? Turns, braking, etc. The vibrations would create that anticipation of what's about to happen, according to the company, and so that's a lot of what they've found is causing the motion sickness. They say the vibrations are very intuitive, so I imagine it's if the driver touches the brake, it kind of vibrates on your side, etc. The cost is likely for this part is going to be a few $100s. It's going to require, though, a monthly subscription to manage the software out there. And we're just getting monthly subscription to death in this day and age as well. So what we're dealing with. The second option, though, is going to take a little bit longer to put out there. But they are in discussions with the major automaker right now to have this put into cars. Well, they're going to do a whole seat that tips and tilts in anticipation of vehicle movement. So imagine being in a Waymo and your car and your seat just tilts a little bit when you go into a turn, kind of like anticipating a turn, right? The cost on this would be thousands of dollars, but it would be incorporated into the total cost of a new vehicle, as it would obviously be installed as a new seat out there for the autonomous vehicles, things to that effect. But I found that interesting with the motion sickness side. One, the study results of the EVs being more motion sick, autonomous vehicles, also people more sick, Uber, Lyft drivers, not always the safest drivers out there in terms of turns, right? And finally, from that motion sick story, trying to help you out with your motion sickness out there here at McCollum on Business and some things possibly coming to market. Well, maybe you won't be able to afford those seats coming up if you want to go to Disneyland. Yes, the Walt Disney Company, not only is reportedly, they have raised ticket prices at its two major U.S. theme parks. They're, of course, citing higher labor costs and continued park expansions that they're doing. The price effects did take effect this week, Wednesday, at Walt Disney World in Orlando, and then, of course, over at Disneyland there in Anaheim, California. Orlando, not as big of price hikes as you got at Disneyland. So since that's closer, we're going to focus on that. But Orlando's not as terrible as what we're seeing over here in California. Visitors to Disneyland, well, you're going to have the largest price jumps of the two, as I just said. The park's Tier 6 one-day ticket, that's used on the busiest, highest demand days, it rose $18. It's $224 per adult now. So you're looking at $1,000 to take family of four into Disneyland as adults. It's a 126% jump over the past decade there for Disneyland as well. The popular 5-day Park Hopper Pass, that grants you access to Disneyland and the California Adventure side. It's going up $39 to $655. That's when you can go back and forth between the two parks. The park's Lightning Lane multi-pass, well, that's very popular. It's rising 6.25% to $34. That's only if it's purchased ahead of time. It goes to that price. It's a bigger increase if you purchase it once you're there as well. And that's per person also coming your way. That's on top of the price of the ticket to get in from that perspective. So, or like I said, Orlando's getting price increases, but not the same. But there you go. Prepare yourself here if you're planning on taking your kids over to Disneyland for the holidays coming up, or of course, planning a vacation next summer as well. And I appreciate you joining me here for McCollum on Business. Don't forget, you can text us on my show's text line, 623-252-6670. Anytime we see him, we'll talk to you about him here on the show as well. And we appreciate you joining us here. We'll be back tomorrow for Friday's edition of McCollum on Business. Do we see an end to the government shutdown? Is the market still going to be in sell-off mode? How are the reportings going? We got you all set up here. Come and join us. 11 o'clock live, on demand after that, here on Robat TV, YouTube, free podcast systems. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.